Imagine this. You wake in the dead of night, a cold sweat clinging to your skin, your heart pounding from a dream you can't quite grasp. The room is silent, but something feels wrong, off-kilter, like a shadow lurking just beyond your vision. You stumble to the mirror, peering into your own eyes, and for a fleeting second, you don't recognize the face staring back. Who is this stranger? Not the you who laughs with friends or scrolls through life's endless distractions, but someone deeper, someone hidden. A question claws its way up from your gut. What if the real you isn't the one you've been living as? What if the life you've built is a fragile mask, and beneath it lies something you've refused to face? This isn't mere insomnia's trickery. It's a paradox gnawing at the edges of your existence. You pride yourself on honesty, yet how often do you lie to the mirror? You chase freedom, yet chain yourself to comforts that numb the ache. The world screams at you to know yourself. But what if knowing yourself means confronting a darkness so vast it could swallow everything you hold dear? The tension coils tighter. Are you brave enough to look? Or will you turn away, pretending the shadow isn't there, even as it grows? These aren't idle musings. They're a reckoning. Every step you take, every choice you make, dances with this unseen force. It's not a monster under the bed. It's the part of you that whispers when no one's listening, the part you drown out with noise. What happens when you stop running? What happens when the shadow steps into the light? Hold that question close. It's the key to everything that follows. You've felt it, that flicker of unease, the shadow trailing your every step. But why does it linger? Why does it cling to you like damp earth to a grave? The answer burrows deep into the soil of your mind, where psychology and philosophy intertwine. Carl Jung called it the shadow, the repressed, the denied, the parts of you too raw, too ugly, or too powerful to face. It's not just a flaw. It's the sum of everything you've banished from the light of your conscious self. Nietzsche glimpsed it too, warning that what you refuse to confront doesn't vanish. It festers, growing claws in the dark. You think you're in control, but this hidden force pulls strings you don't even see. It begins early. Society hands you a script. Be good. Be productive. Fit in. Schopenhauer would sneer at this. He saw life as a blind will, a restless hunger you're taught to tame rather than understand. So you bury the rage, the doubt, the wildness, stuffing them into a box labeled unacceptable. But the psyche doesn't forget. Every suppressed scream, every stifled desire feeds the shadow. It's why you snap at loved ones over nothing, why guilt gnaws at you in quiet moments. Sartre might call it bad faith, living a lie because the truth feels too heavy. You wear a mask so long it fuses to your skin, and the real you suffocates beneath. This isn't just personal, it's primal. Your brain craves safety, wiring itself to avoid pain, even if that pain is the truth. Yet the cost is steep. The more you deny, the more you fragment. Viktor Frankl knew this. Meaning lies in facing suffering, not fleeing it. But you? You've built a life atop quicksand, pretending the ground doesn't shift. The shadow thrives there, in the gap between who you are and who you pretend to be. And it's patient, waiting for the cracks to widen, for the tension to break. What happens when it does? You've buried it deep, that shadow, but it doesn't sleep. It seeps into your life like ink spreading through water, silent and relentless. You don't see it, you feel it. In the way your chest tightens when someone questions you too closely. In the dreams that leave you hollow, replaying moments you'd rather forget. This isn't random. It's the unseen consequence of refusal. The shadow doesn't just sit in the corner of your mind. It shapes your reality, bending your choices, your relationships, your very sense of self into something you barely recognize. Look closer. Cognitive biases twist your lens. Confirmation bias lures you to see only what comforts, while denial blinds you to the rest. Neurologically, your amygdala hums with fear, priming you to run from truths that sting. Culturally, you're conditioned to perform, to polish the surface while the depths rot. That fight with your partner? It wasn't about the dishes, it was the shadow screaming through the cracks. That promotion you chase? It's not ambition. It's a distraction from the void you won't name. The world mirrors this. Wars waged over pride. Societies crumbling under unspoken shame. You're not alone in this trap. But that doesn't make it less deadly. The stakes climb higher. Unfaced, the shadow festers into despair, rage, or apathy, emotions you can't trace because their roots are hidden. It's why you scroll endlessly, numbing the ache, or lash out at shadows cast by others. Psychologists call it projection. You see your flaws in everyone but the mirror. The longer you ignore it, the more it owns you. Your life becomes a script you didn't write, a prison with bars you forged. And the world suffers too, divided by people too afraid to look within, too busy pointing outward. Escape feels urgent now, doesn't it? The weight presses harder, the air thicker. You can't outrun what's inside you, but you can't keep pretending it's not there. Something has to give. What if the breaking point isn't destruction, but revelation? You're standing at the edge now, the shadow looming, its breath hot against your neck. But what if you turned, not to run, but to face it? This is the rebellion. Not a scream into the void, but a quiet, radical choice to stop hiding. Everything you've believed, control, safety, the polished self, crumbles here. Freedom isn't in denial, it's in the plunge. Jung whispered it. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. The shadow isn't your enemy, it's your unshaped power, waiting to be claimed. Start small, but fierce. Sit with the discomfort you've dodged, the shame, the fear, the hunger. Ask, why does this terrify me? Nietzsche's abyss gazes back, but this time you don't blink. History proves it works. Socrates defied the crowd, dying for truth over comfort. Joan of Arc burned rather than bow. They didn't escape their shadows, they wielded them. You can too. Strip the mask. Admit the envy you bury, the rage you leash, the dreams you've choked. Speak them aloud, even if your voice shakes. The act alone cracks the cage. Mindset shifts are your weapons. Stop seeking approval. Others can't see what you won't. Embrace paradox. You're flawed and infinite, broken and whole. Aldous Huxley saw it in The Brave New World. Numbing truth kills the soul. Choose the mess instead. Meditate on it, journal it, wrestle it down. Neuroscience backs this. Facing fear rewires your brain, shrinking the amygdala's grip. Counterintuitive, yes, safety lies in the storm, not the harbor. You've been taught to flee pain, but pain is the forge. Step in. You're not just surviving now, you're reclaiming. The shadow doesn't vanish, it integrates, fueling a raw, untamed strength. You'll feel it, a fire where numbness once reigned. This isn't self-help problem, it's revolution. The world shifts when you do, but the deepest truth still waits, shimmering beyond the fight. Are you ready to see it whole? You've faced it now. The shadow's jagged edges, its weight, its howl. But here, in the wreckage of your old self, a truth ignites. So piercing, it redefines everything. It's not that the shadow was a flaw to fix or a foe to slay. It's you, unfiltered, unapologetic, whole. The ultimate revelation isn't destruction, it's unity. Everything you feared, everything you hid, was never separate. Viktor Frankl glimpsed it in the camps. Meaning isn't found despite suffering, it's born through it. The darkness you refused wasn't your ruin. It was your redemption, waiting. This shatters the lie you've lived. You thought wholeness meant perfection, a life scrubbed clean of chaos. But that's a ghost story. Reality is messier, richer, light and shadow braided together. Jung knew, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. Not the sanitized you, but the raw, trembling, infinite you. Sartre's freedom dawns here too. Not in escaping existence, but in owning it, cracks and all. Every suppressed tear, every buried scream was a piece of your soul begging to be seen. And now you see. The paradigm shifts beneath your feet. Past struggles, guilt, doubt, rage, snap into focus. They weren't punishments. They were calls to wake up. You've been fighting a phantom when all along the battle was to surrender to yourself. This isn't abstract, it's visceral. Feel the air shift, the weight lift. You're not fixed, you're unleashed. The world looks different now. Less a threat, more a mirror. What you despised in others was yours to heal. What you chased outside was always within. Stand here in this trembling dawn. The shadow doesn't fade. It dances with you, a partner, not a prison. You're alive, not in spite of it, but because of it. Let this haunt you. Who are you, unshackled? Step forward, not as a mask, but as a flame. The question isn't answered, it's lived. And that's the fire you'll carry into whatever comes next.